Hello, I'm Dr. Stephen Myers, and today I want to take up the question, what direction did Muslims originally face to pray? And a clue, it was not Mecca. They prayed facing another direction, and we want to look at that today. Around 624 AD, after the migration to Medina, a revelation was recorded in the Quran. It's Surah 2, verse 144, instructing Muslims to turn and pray towards the Kaaba. And we'll take a look at that word in Arabic to see where is that referring to. The prophet prayed toward Jerusalem for 16 to 17 months, and then this verse was revealed that they need to pray in a different direction. In Sadi al-Bukhari, it says they turned mid-prayer. During the prayer at the Qibla, people were told to change their direction from Syria, which many think is Jerusalem, towards the Kaaba in mid-prayer. All of a sudden, he gets this revelation that they need to pray in a different direction. This is one of the hadiths. This would be like next to the Quran itself, as this is to be believed and to be carried out. Here I have ChatGPT is sort of pointing this out here from Beit el-Maqdis, which would be, I think, is Jerusalem, that they were praying there for 16 to 17 months. And then the revelation there in Surah 2, 144, that they need to turn and pray facing what most would say would be Mecca. And we even have in Daniel 6, verse 10, that Daniel opens up his windows and prays toward Jerusalem. And so many Jews, that's what they do, and even today pray towards the temple in Jerusalem. And now there's a change among the Muslims to a different direction. Here's a picture of Masjid Al-Qiblatain, which means literally the mosque of two Qiblas. This is a rebuilt of it. Originally, it was in 626 A.D., and then they rebuilt it in 1987. But this was supposed to be the place where Muhammad received his message to turn toward Al-Masjid Al-Haram, the holy or forbidden mosque. This mosque originally pointed to Jerusalem or Petra. That's actually the same, almost the same direction there. And we want to look at what the Al-Masjid Al-Haram, that's where they're supposed to turn to and pray. So let's look at that. Also in Medina is the Quba Mosque. That's supposed to be the oldest one that's built. This one's a picture from 1918, but we don't know for sure exactly what direction that was pointing in the original one. Here's a chart that we have the original direction. Beit el-Maqdis. Now, Beit means house. You have Bethel in Hebrew is house of El, and here you have house of El-Maqdis, which means holy. And it's also El Makadesh, which we get Kodesh in Hebrew, meaning holy. So this is the holy house where they originally prayed to. And then by divine command, it was changed to Al-Masjid Al-Haram. And that means in Arabic, Al-Masjid is mosque or place of prostration, and Al-Haram means holy, sacred, or forbidden. And that's the place. It doesn't say Mecca. It says the holy place. And we want to look at what that is and what the description of it is, so we know for sure which way to pray. Dan Gibson has a groundbreaking film called The Sacred City. And he's a historian who's been studying this over 30 years with some amazing discoveries. And he says that if we go to the earliest mosques, they are pointing to Petra, not Mecca. And he goes through, and you can see some of these here. It's an excellent film. You can see it at thesacredcity.ca or on YouTube. I'll put a link below so you can watch that. It's very interesting. Some of the latest discoveries in Islam. And one of the key things is that the Qibla, the original direction, was Petra. So I thought, how do I know this is for real? How do I know that these mosques, he says, are pointing this direction? So I decided I'll go over to Jordan and look at some of these mosques and see, are they actually pointing that direction? And my wife was able to come along with me, and we just hired a cab to just drive us around to these different places in Jordan. And one of the most important one is in Amman, Jordan. This is the Citadel. On the top right there, you can see the older museum. And out back here is the Umayyad Mosque. And I took my phone, and you can see I put it there of the direction, and that's pointing, it seems to be pointing closely to Petra and not to Mecca. Close by is the Umayyad Palace there, right nearby, and this is pointing to Mecca. Now, the mosque, the earliest ones don't have a niche in the wall telling you which way to pray, which was called Mijab or Mihrab. And this, you could use the wall, would be facing Mecca. And sure enough, this wall was. But the other, the mosque there, the niche in it, it was facing close to Petra, not Mecca. Now here is a Google map of Amman, Jordan, the Citadel part. And here is the mosque. And I don't know if you can see it too good. There's the little niche right here. And it's pointing down this way. This is the old museum here. And then here is the Umayyad Palace. And it's facing going this way, about along where the street is. And you can clearly see that it's a different direction. And this is the clearest way where you can see here that there's two different directions that they're pointing to face for prayer. Here we have the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem. And on the east side, there's another smaller dome that we want to look at. And it's a very beautiful dome, and it's inside is a big rock. That's why they call it the Dome of the Rock. Here is an older picture where you can see the smaller dome. It's called the Dome of the Chain, and that's important. The chain of passing down the Holy Scriptures. This one was 1920. I didn't take this picture. I'm not that old yet, but this gives you an idea of where they would pray. Right here would be the direction, the Qibla, showing the way to pray here. And let's see if we can get a closer look. Here is a inside look at the beautiful work of the Dome of the Chain, and it's very similar to the Dome of the Rock, and many believe that it was made about the same time, which would be 692 AD, when this was made by Abu Malik. And down here is where the mihrab is, the niche pointing where to pray. Here you can see the niche or mihrab better. And I put my compasses on the outside, and you can clearly see that it's not pointing to Mecca at all. It's way off. And it seems to be pointing to Petra instead. I thought we could take a look inside the Dome of the Rock. You're not allowed to go in today unless you're a Muslim. But in 1977, I was there, and it was okay to go in. You had to take your shoes off to go in. And there's this big rock. This doesn't show the whole rock here. And it's very beautiful inside. And they believe that this is, some Christians believe this is where Jesus ascended up into heaven. Others say this is where Muhammad took the white horse, the Buraq, and ascended in a night journey up through the seven heavens to speak to Allah. And right across the top here, this Arabic writing here in Kufic, I believe, and we want to take a look at what it says in here. This is one of the oldest inscriptions and one of the oldest buildings that's been built by the Muslims. So let's take a look at that. Here we have what it says in the Arabic. We want to look here at 2. It says, so Muhammad is the messenger of God, the servant of God, and his messenger. And Muhammad means praise be, or the praised one. And some think originally this was just like a title. Jesus is called Muhammad in early Christian Syriac, which would be like Aramaic, descendant of Aramaic. They would call Jesus Muhammad, the praised one. And some think that this is talking about Jesus. And it goes on here, right in this section here, it says, O people of the book, do not go to excess in your religion, and do not say about God except the truth. The people of the book is referring to Christians, and they've gone to extremes, and he thinks they haven't been telling the truth. And it goes on to say the Messiah Jesus, son of Mary, is the only messenger of God. So Muslims believe that Jesus was the Messiah. And notice it says son of Mary. They do not believe he was the Son of God. But they say his word, or the Logos, which he cast into Mary. So God puts the Logos into Mary, and the Holy Spirit. So this is talking about the Immaculate Conception of Mary. And she's also very important in Islam. So they believe in Jesus, the Messiah. And then it goes on to say, don't say there are three. I guess I'm covering it up here. So they, in other words, don't say there's three gods. There's only one God, Allah. And so they do not believe in the Trinity, that there's only one God. And this is key in Islam. Now, this is also what was key in early Syriac Christianity, that they didn't believe in the Trinity. And then you have conflict with the Nicene Creed, that there is a Trinity, and then the Christians in the East, the Syriac Christians, they did not believe in the Trinity. He was the Logos. They may have believed as a son of God, but he wasn't God. And other similar Syriac Christian beliefs also comes into Islam as well. Then outside the Dome of the Rock is the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem there. It's still on the Temple Mount there, just a little further away. And that also faces Petra. It doesn't face Mecca. Going down south further, past Petra, about almost halfway between Petra and the Red Sea, Gulf of Aqaba, you have this fortress or castle, Qasar. I remember because it means like castle, Humayun, which is the Abbasids. Their family lived there around 700 A.D. and overthrew the Umayyads and took over as caliph. So it's a very big site here. Here's another view of the number of different buildings that were there. Probably a very important caravan stop on the way to Petra. I did not go down into Saudi Arabia, but was at the Gulf of Aqaba there. And down in Medina, there's the Prophet's Mosque. And where the green area is, right here, that's the green dome. That's where the Prophet Muhammad is said to be buried. Then way down in Yemen, you have the Great Mosque of Sana'a. We'll say more about that because when they were trying to do some work there, they discovered some very ancient manuscripts of the Quran. And in another video, we'll go and talk about some of the earliest manuscripts of the Quran. And this mosque does not point to Mecca. Then in Egypt, we have another mosque that they had to bring out the blueprints to see that it originally faced Petra, but now rebuilt and faces Mecca. Now in 711 AD, the Muslims cross from Africa into Spain, and they conquer most of Spain, and by 718 AD, they controlled most of it, and known as Al-Andalus. And there in Granada, Spain, you have the famous Alhambra Palace, fortress. And it wasn't till Ferdinand and Isabella, Ferdinand II became king of Spain, that he was finally able to kick all the Muslims out and take Granada here, and take the fortress here. And it's very beautiful. I encourage you to go see it there in Spain. And this happened in 1492, the same year that Columbus went and discovered America. And it was Ferdinand and Isabella that promoted him and supplied him so he could go and discover a new route to India, but it ended up being the Americas. Then in Cordoba, Spain, there's a big, huge building that you see there is the Cordoba Mosque. But now it's been turned into a church. And let's take a look at that. It's very beautiful, very big there with all the columns inside. And I encourage you all, if you're ever there, to stop and visit the mosque. Now is a church. Here is the mihrab that's in the mosque here. And it's a very beautiful, fancy mihrab showing the Qibla, the direction to pray. And I had my phone here, and down in the corner on the right here, you can see I'm pointing it to it, and it doesn't even get close to pointing to where Mecca is. This has been hard to explain why it isn't pointing to Mecca. Now, when you look at the description of Mecca in the Quran, it doesn't fit Mecca, but it seems to fit Petra a whole lot better. And you can see Dan Gibson about that in his video. Mecca is only mentioned once in the Quran, in Surah 48, verse 24. And it's in a valley, it says. According to Bukhari, it's a stream from a mountain to mountain within the city. There's a narrow mountain pass, according to Bukhari. The mother of all cities in Surah 692. A place to grow grapes, a walled city, a center for yearly pilgrimage. But that doesn't really fit Mecca, but it fits Petra, best fits Petra. And we want to see some pictures of this to go along with it. Then there's also the geography that's mentioned in the Quran. Best fits northern Arabia, not Mecca and surrounding area. You have Ad or Uz, which is Edom, mentioned 23 times. Thamud, the home of the Nabateans, is mentioned 24 times. Midia, the home of the Midianites, is mentioned 7 times. And this all indicates northern Arabia. And he has a whole book written about this. Here's a map where you can see where Petra is located, and it's the ancient land of Edom. And then after that, we have the Nabateans, and mentioned most often is the northern area of Saudi Arabia and the Edomites. Most of what you see in Petra is from the time of the Nabateans, and we have this beautiful, all carved out of the rock there in the cliff, and this is called the treasury, because they thought there was a lot of money inside, but there wasn't. But it's very beautifully carved, and this was around the time of Jesus when this was carved, and some think Herodotus, I think it was the fourth, was one of the wise men that came to visit Jesus. Here we have the temple of Dushara, which faces Wadi Musa, which would be Wadi Moses. And some think this is to be equated with El Uzzah, the Greek goddess Aphrodite. El Uzzah is mentioned in the satanic verses, so-called in the Quran. And Dan Gibson thinks this is where the Kaaba, the black stone, was originally, and that's why they prayed this way. Here is the place where Dan Gibson thinks the Kaaba and the black stone were, right in front of the temple to Dushara there in Petra. And the second civil war of the Muslims, which took place between 680 and 692 AD, that Allah ibn Zubayr claims to be the Caliph. And there's a big civil war, and he takes the Kaaba and the black stone and takes it down to Mecca, and that's where he left it there because of the impending civil war, and they were attacking Petra and destroyed Petra, and the Abbasids took over. And so that's Dan Gibson has a lot more about this in his video. Here is a nice view of the Petra area, and way at the top, let's see here, right here, I don't know if you can see it very well, there's like a white dot on this mountain, and this is the place where Aaron, by tradition, legend, was supposed to be buried. That this is Mount Hor, where he was buried. And we want to take a closer look at that. I didn't climb to the top, but this is a photo from someone else. But this is what's on top of what they claim is Mount Hor, the tomb of Aaron. And this is where they believed Aaron was buried. Just before you go into Petra, you have the spring of Moses, where he hit the rock and the water comes out, and it's in this building. You can go in right here, and you can see the water there. And notice here it says Musa, that means Moses. You have here the spring of Moses, Moses' spring marketplace. And this is right just outside of the main Petra area. Then near the colonnade main street, there's what would be a water course. When there is water, the water would run through here. That is also mentioned in, I think, Bukhari. And then there's also a well there as well. And this may be the Zamzam well that's mentioned there. The original one that may be described here in Petra and not Mecca. Of course, in Mecca, they think this is the good, pure water that never runs dry. And what they don't realize, it's being pumped from the Red Sea and desalinated and pumped in. Then there's these large stones that mark, they think, the sacred area of the city, where it's forbidden to kill anyone in there, and also called the Forbidden City, where you're not supposed to do certain things because it's sacred and holy. Here we have Mecca. This is an old picture. And you can see in the middle here, this black building is the Kaaba. And I think one of the corners, I guess you can't, not this one, but that's where the black stone is. And they sort of circle around it in their prayers. And if you could touch the black stone there, that's like a blessing. And some go on the Hajj here. The journey is their last journey that they hope to die in Mecca. And it's a lot bigger nowadays, but this is an older picture of Mecca. But Dan Gibson thinks it was originally in Petra, and because of the second civil war among the Muslims, that he brought it here to Mecca. What direction did Muslims originally face to pray? We most say it would be to Jerusalem, and then turning to Mecca. But if we look at the original wording there and the description, it seems to fit Petra better. That you can go, that they turn from Jerusalem to Petra, and then finally during the second civil war of the Muslims, it was brought to Mecca. And you can see Dan Gibson's video about that, which is excellent. And I encourage you, if you're there in Jordan and see some of these mosques there, look for yourself and see, is it pointing to Mecca or not? Lastly, I want to share some resources that I have. Let's see if we can see them. Of course, my book, along with my son, writing Insights into Islam, and so a lot of the things you see here and some of the pictures are in the book here, and information. It's a short booklet, and you can get it on Etsy. Then one of the key books here is Early Islamic Qiblas by Dan Gibson, and he goes through all the different mosques there to see what direction they're pointing. And the very earliest ones don't point to Mecca. Then another one about his geography. Let's see if we can see it here, by Dan Gibson, showing the problems of it being Mecca, and it fits better with Petra. Then we have this book here. Let's see if we can get it in view. The Hidden Origins of Islam. And here it goes into detail about the Dome of the Rock, the writing on the Dome of the Rock, and that Muhammad may be referring to Jesus. Talks about Jesus and Mary there and goes through in details about that and other things about the origins of Islam. Very good. Then another one I got to here in the later ones, John of Damascus, the first apologist to the Muslims. He lived and worked for the Muslims there. They had conquered all this land, but they didn't have enough people who knew how to read and write, so they would just let the Christians at the very beginning to do all the work. And John writes about that, and it's very interesting to see what he says about the Muslims. He saw it as a early Christian heresy. They didn't believe in the Trinity and other things, and so that's a very important book. And this one by Daniel J. Janosik. My pronunciation is terrible. Then we have the Qumran Bible, a new translation by Gabriel Reynolds, here with notes. It's a pretty thick one here to help you out. When I first read the Quran, I didn't even know that Isa was referring to Jesus, and these other things here. And this one here is also very good with annotations here by A.J. Droge. And let's see if we can open about it. It tells a lot of information in the footnotes there about it. And you can read the Quran, and it helps you understand it. It's helped me in understanding it. So these are some of the books that you can look at and get more information. I have more coming videos. I want to do one about the Quran itself and some of the earliest Qurans and some of the differences from the Standard Huff's edition in 1924. I want to look at that. And then my experiences with Islam and Sharia law. That'll be another video coming up. So stay tuned, subscribe, ring the bell, and thank you so much for listening.